Now that we got that mushy shit out of the way, I feel like stage diving. Let's thrash this place.
You're crazy.
Yep, I'm fucking insane in the brain. Let's dance! Shake that bony white ass. Or take my picture with your new camera.
Times have changed, and we've often rewound the clock since the Puritans got the shock
This song fucking
when they
rules.
landed on Plymouth
Can't dance,
Rock.
hippie? Come on. Rock out, girl.
Today.
Hello, welcome back, everybody. Still alive, huh?
Yeah, it's been
The gods must have a sense of humor.
Gods must have a sense of humor. I don't know. I feel like half a man. It's, well, welcome back after a wonderful month.
It seems so light in here now that the Halloween decorations are gone.
I know. I kind of got used to the whole dark ambience.
Yeah, it's just
the
too
decor
bright here.
So we're gonna have to darken the mood.
Okay.
We're gonna dive into a subject that maybe some people shy away from, but not us here. Video games.
Yeah, I was about to say bitches.
Bitches.
That's not fair.
No, it isn't. We're going out of our not necessarily comfort zone, but something we haven't done on the channel yet.
Yeah.
Is we're doing our first video game review, and it's something that kind of came up, and as soon as I started into it, I felt like there was a need once it was all finished and all was done, but for the crying. Yeah, I had to talk about this game, so we are going to review a small game called Life is Strange. And it's not such a small game. It was something that had humble beginnings, but by the end of its run, it really caught me in a way that I think is probably one of the more important games I've played in recent memory. Mm-hmm. So just a quick rundown on what it is in January I heard about this thing that was coming out. It's called Life is Strange, and if you're a fan of the Telltale games style of adventure, kind of puzzle solving, kind of make your own choices, choose your own adventure, this is familiar territory, except it took that formula and it went way beyond my expectations and a lot of people's expectations. And people have been kind of buzzing about this game all year, up to the final episode, which was released
Just last month.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. And I was there every step of the way, and I was excited every step of the way. Mm-hmm. And the beautiful part about it is, unlike a lot of the other video games that kind of came out in a similar vein, like The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, Borderlands, what else did they
And
do?
now Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft. Now they have that property. It was completely on its own. It was different from everything else that had come out. It had to get by on its own steam and story, and boy, it was a good story. Mm. So much that we're going to talk about it for a little bit here.
Yeah.
So, basically, this whole story is about time-traveling hipster artist photographers, or one of them at least, in this particular story. It's a girl who figures out one day, she wakes up from a horrible nightmare where her hometown is getting destroyed by a gigantic...
It's getting its ass kicked.
It's getting its ass kicked by an eldritch tornado. And it's...
You know those lightning tornadoes? Those are the worst.
Yeah, those are horrible.
Those temporal lightning tornadoes.
Boy, it's not a good future. And she wakes up from this bad dream, and over the course of the next day, she gets into a few situations and realizes she has the ability to control time. And it's a nifty little thing, and immediately, you can see the game mechanics just flowing out of it.
Prince of Persia style.
Yeah, Prince of Persia style, but then it doesn't follow that same route where, if you die, you rewind and you don't die. Mm. No, this is one where it makes you make decisions on your choices, both social and responsible, like, how you conduct yourself, how you relate to others. Mm. There's some hard decisions to make in this game, and the whole story is basically she's trying to correct some problems that were coming up. She knows some of her friends are in a bad spot. She's just moved back to town, and she hasn't seen her best friend, and there's bitterness still a little bit underneath the curtain. It's a wonderful kind of little, I don't want to say slice of life because that's so cute, but insight.
There's nothing wrong with cute.
No, nothing wrong with cute, but there's insight, and there's an engaging story that I never thought I would get from such a young girl. Like she's in a prep school, so she's like 17, 18.
Mm-hmm.
And no, it was absolutely captivating. And Max Caulfield is the main character, and boy, she just anchored this story well. Good character, good voice work in the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that I didn't expect was the amount of sci-fi that came out in it, and the metaphysical thought processes that were involved in this game that a lot of time traveling video games kind of ignore.
Well, you know, even a lot of movies kind of ignore. Like time travel is very like basically what's going on in this game is, yes, you can change the results of some things, but you know, something always has to pay the price. You know, it's the cause and effect thing. You know, if you save someone some embarrassment, you know, someone else is going to end up with that. You know,
yeah, it's like there's an energy to the universe, and it has to even out somehow.
yeah, the universe keeps itself in check. You know.
And that's a concept that I like to think about, but this game actually kind of really gives you a good reason to care, because like you deal with the same about 5 or 6 characters all the way through the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
and they have their ups and downs, and you're really responsible for those ups and downs. Like, do you want to be Miss Cool Girl? Do you want to make sure your friends are just getting off scot-free with murder? literally murder, or you know, do you take a stand and say, no, we're gonna go our moral route this time, we're not gonna use the time powers, you know, we're gonna solve this like regular people. And there's a lot of fun moments in there, a lot of deep questions, and I think that was the most appealing thing, is because usually me and Al, we don't really see too eye to eye on a lot of games. Like, he likes his certain kinds, I like mine, and generally, if we do like a game, it's for completely different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
This is one game I think we both kind of agree on as it's probably the best example of the genre,
Mm-hmm.
of the adventure point and click sort of things. But what I liked the most was, after finishing each episode, is how it kept us, like, we would sit there for hours, or a couple hours.
The debate,
afterwards.
you know.
Yeah, the debate.
Where is this story going? And you know, it's just going over finer points of the plot. And could we be missing something? You know, what are the ramifications of this action and stuff like that? Lots of moments in this game for you know, some of these things are jaw dropping. You know, some of the consequences of this game. You know, it staggered me on a couple of occasions.
Oh yeah.
Throughout the series that I had no words, and you know, there's not a game I can recall in history that has affected me like that. That just took the words out of my mouth and I'm speechless.
Yeah, and it leaves you there for quite a while, and I think that was the beauty of it, because it came out as an episodic format starting in January. It was like every other month another episode came out until the final chapter came out in October. And yeah, they're not very long. They only took maybe 2.5 hours each.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a small movie that you're playing through, depending on how much you dawdle around. There's a lot of fun stuff to waste time on in that world, and I wasted quite a bit of time to get the full experience. But for each 2.5 hours, it gave you an hour and a half of, boy, I can't wait till next month, and I think this is going to happen, and this and this and this, and then the conversations about you know, time theory and how well they're actually approaching it, how different their take was. I think it was masterfully done for what amounts to really kind of a small studio with a very limited team. They did a great job.
Yeah.
Better than most AAA studios.
Mm-hmm.
And I have nothing but praise to heap on it for the story, the dialogue, the characters, the acting jobs. Every part just seemed to have a lot of love put into it.
Well, this game really took me by surprise. I was kind of going into it thinking that there's absolutely nothing I can relate to, because this story is about these two young girls and their friendship, and it's something like that is, I would think, would be completely unrelatable to me.
Yeah.
And this whole thing is set up. It's like one big unfolding tragedy that you can see. It's gonna have a tragic end.
Yeah.
And it does. And I really sympathize with these two girls, Max and Chloe.
Yeah.
I think that it shut me up pretty well. You know, it's I don't know as much as I thought I did, and I'm glad to have seen it through.
Yeah, and I think that's the one thing that I even found amazing, because there's a few times, like, you know, I'm much more of a sucker for this style of game than Al is, and he's very quick to not necessarily dismiss things, but I know he's not lying when he says it's hard for him to empathize or understand a character and you know, get involved in a story. Yeah. This is probably the most I've ever seen him get involved in a story
Probably.
at all.
Probably.
Like a video game story, anyways. And yeah, it's if that's not a telling sign for me that it was quality, I really don't know what is, because I like a lot of things, but for this guy to like something, it's like something that Aaron likes for the exact same reasons. That almost never happens.
That's kind of rare, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I wanted to do a review after every episode.
I think we could have done a playthrough of every episode, but you know, we've been through it once, and it wouldn't have the same.
It wouldn't be honest as the first time through.
But if you haven't played it, I guarantee that this is one of the smartest games you'll ever play. I know it really knocked me for a loop. You know, I would consider this game of the year material.
You know what? I have to agree as well. You have your experiences, and you know you'll fall in love with your Halos and your Call of Duties. You're gonna have those video games around every year, but then something like this comes along once in a while.
This is such a treat,
and not only that, they made it so easy to get into it.
Right.
If you wanted to try out the first episode, I think now it's like $5 or $3 on Steam, PlayStation Network, and Xbox Live.
Yeah.
And it's digital only, so you have to download it, so you have to have an internet connection. And if you liked it, you could just throw another $15 and get the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's got good music, great art style.
It tugs at the heartstrings. I know we're a little light on spoilers here in case you know, any of the viewers haven't played it, but I guarantee you're gonna like this. If you like stories about time travel and friendship and justice, you know, this is gonna be great.
Satisfaction, like it also questions, because it puts you firmly in that seat of how far would you go to get certain things done. And you know, there's a couple points where there have been moments where I was like, no, firmly no. But then when the story unfolds, you're like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, you know, it really makes you kind of appreciate the fact that you don't really understand anyone's real motivations or how things will work out.
Exactly.
You know,
and I think they did that very well, because the one thing I've after I finished, I did some looking through some Let's Plays and talked to some people that had messed around with the game and finished it and loved it. And there's a lot of different ways to get through it all. Like I've heard of endings where your main character is the loner. You didn't make any connections with anybody to the point where you were almost not there at all. And then there's some people that were so involved with everything that it was soul crushing, the ending. And I know a lot of people that shed a few tears. I didn't. There's a couple of moments where I was just dead silent though. You're just sitting there, just wondering what the heck just happened. What do I do? Where does it go? And that's the hallmark of a great story in video games, and it's something that I encourage all of our viewers to at least give a look to.
Yeah, this is one of the most memorable things I've seen. Geez, in who knows, 15 years or more.
Well,
in
and
video games.
yeah, that's it's been a strange year for video games.
Yeah.
Like I've dropped out of the AAA almost completely. Like this year, the only big game that I bought was Metal Gear Solid 5, and you know I enjoyed that for what it was. I knew exactly what I was getting, but to be surprised so pleasantly by this, you know, right now this is my pick for Game of the Year.
Yeah, rightly so.
And granted, it's not much of an actual gameplay video game.
No.
But you don't get this medium firing on all cylinders like this. This is a treat that you deserve to take if you love anything with metaphysical science and sci-fi. So for me, absolutely 10 on 10. I have nothing truly bad to say about it. If I did, it'd be really small nitpicky stuff.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
The one thing is I still am not completely down with the hipster crowd, but I can oversee it because when you get
good,
to know
it's
them,
really,
yeah,
really good.
when you get into it, it's really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, by all means, please check it out. For the first video game we're doing on our channel, I don't think we could have chosen a better, more topical one to pop out. Took a while to absorb it all, but it'll still make you think. Still,
Yeah.
It still makes me think. So that's my recommendation for first video game review. Life
Well,
is Strange is must play.
Must play, yes, but we're gushing a little too much right now.
Yeah.
Check it out. We'll see you next time, and take care.
Yeah. Have a good night.